Hello, this is Jacob Fry with FryTech IT Services. Decided to create some how-to videos on Windows 10. The 29th of this month, July 29th, 2016, was the last day to download the free upgrade from Windows 7, 8, 8.1 to Windows 10. Hopefully you did so. I really enjoy it. I'm just going to go over um, this start menu today, and I'm going to create other how-to videos on how to do a lot of other things. So for your start menu, you left click on it here. They actually got it back from Windows 8. This is kind of a mashup of Windows 7 and Windows 8 start menu, except for you can resize the start menu. I think by default they started out really long like this and a little shorter, something like that. But you know, you can resize it and it'll kind of snap into place depending on the size of tiles. It normally will section, as you see, it'll section at about this length each time. So if I bring it back just a little bit, it's going to come all the way back and snap in like that. The height, you can adjust the height in almost any way you want to down to here. I think is as low as you can get it. So I like my start menu like this. Right here, if you start from the left up here, this is the logged in user that's logged in. You can change the account settings from here. You can lock the user or you can sign out. You can also right click on it, does the same thing. Most used apps are right here. There's a way to turn this section on and off under the settings. I'll show you that a little bit later. There's also a way to change all the coloring on this under your personalization as well. I'll go over that. Right here would be recently installed apps. There's nothing showed here because I always remove those. I don't really care for that section. You can turn that on and off as well. File Explorer, this would be just like if you click the folder icon down here, it would bring up your standard File Explorer, which showed up on my other screen. This right here would, be like if you hit File Explorer or Windows Explorer on any Windows machine. This has a quick access section on the side here. You've got all your options here, which you can actually make this shorter by doing this, clicking on this little button here. It'll put it up here into a menu type like it used to be, or you can hit the unpin button here and it'll drop it back down. I like doing this. This has a lot of good settings on it, like folder options right here, things like that, your home screen, cut, copy, paste, select all, things like that. So there's File Explorer, which you can get to from here. You can also go to the Settings app, which is like the Control Panel used to be, and under here you can do a lot of the same things as Control Panel. Control Panel still has features that this does not have, but they're migrating everything over into the Settings app. I'll show you a little bit more about that here in a minute. You have your power button here. You got sleep, shutdown power, your standard power options, and then all apps, which would be like all programs in Windows 7. This will show you all your installed apps, and it alphabetizes them according to groups, and normally it alphabetizes according to the manufacturer. So there's that. Also, if you go over here to the tile side of it, you can actually organize these tiles and change the size. So say you didn't like the calendar app being this big, you can right click on it and go to resize and go to small. You could go to medium, wide, which is what it was, or you can actually do a large app, which is a little too big for me, but some people might need a larger app. And you can see how it's put everything, organized everything like this. Now, if you wanted, since you don't want to highlight all these apps and move them up one at a time, you can just move this one down into place and it'll auto push everything up. It automatically takes out blank lines. You can also reorganize these in any way by clicking on them and moving them, holding down the left click and moving them wherever you want and dropping it into place. Some of these have what's called live tiles, like this weather app here in Florence. It shows me the weather in a live format. The news, no, this is Phone Companion, which I don't use. There's a news app down here that'll show you live news stuff. Here it is. And there's all Donald Trump. Anyway, groove music, OneNote, things like that. You can also pin new things to this start menu. You can right click on an existing app and you could hit pin to start right here, and it takes it a second, but it'll load it up into here. Sometimes you got to click on it a couple times. There it goes, it finally loaded it. Once it loads it into the start menu, you can do the same thing and reorganize it and change its size. You can move it and pin it to the taskbar. You can actually open the actual file location of this OneDrive app, which is nice because it'll show you. And as you see, it goes users, Valsar, app data, roaming, program, start menu. And see, I already have one here, and that's the reason it named this one too. I don't care for OneDrive app in there, so I normally just get rid of those. And supposed to take it out. There it goes. Take it a second sometimes to do these things. When you like change this to full screen or whatever, it takes you a second to actually apply that. Because there's no apply button, it takes just a second for it to apply some of these things. So let's go over a little bit more of the personalization of the start menu. If you go to the start menu and you hit settings, you can go over here to personalization and go to start menu, and you can turn off show more tiles. I'm not exactly sure what this does. You can play with that feature and see suggestions. They can occasionally give you suggestions like, hey, this is a cool feature, try this or try this, so you can learn more about that, and that's a really good functionality to have in these operating systems, to learn more about them. Most used app, like I said, this is the most used app section. You can turn that off. Recently added apps would be right here. I probably should turn that off, but I don't normally use with it. And then your full start menu, this would be like putting it back to Windows 8 or 8.1. If you click on this, wait a minute, it'll apply it. And here you go, you got your full start menu, your power options here, and here's your all programs feature, and this is that left-hand bar. You can use this button up here, and it'll bring what that left-hand bar usually was up here. I don't like the full screen app. That just wasn't my thing. I didn't really care for Windows 8. So if you go back to settings, you can turn start menu off, click on it, give it a second, it kicks into place. It takes it a second to apply that. And then show recently opened items jump list on start menu or the taskbar. I'm not 100% exactly what that is. I think that means that your recently opened items will automatically jump up the list here to the top. What I would guess. You can also change your colors on your start menu and things by going up to colors here, and you can change it to blue, and I think it'll take it a second. See, everything turns blue. You can also change it back to gray, and it goes back to gray. See, and you can also change the accents and other colors on things by messing with these other things. See, show color on start and taskbar, you can turn that on, and I think it'll change this background color back here. There's all sorts of different things you can mess with on it, so that's just up to the individual. So that's a few things about the start menu. Oh yeah, another really important feature, especially if you're an IT specialist, is you right click on the start menu, and this gives you shortcuts to a lot of old control panel items and some of the newer apps and stuff like that. Programs and features, which is the add remove apps section, or add remove programs, power options, event viewer, which is nice to have, system. A lot of these things a normal person wouldn't really use, but admins use a lot of these, and that's kind of what it was for, is for admins. So if you do a little bit of teching on computers and you need like a elevated command prompt here, an admin command prompt is right here. You don't have to, you know, type in CMD, get command prompt, right click, run as administrator. You just right click, command prompt admin. This gives you task manager, control panel, file explorer, run, search, all these really cool things. And another way to shut down, sign in, sign out right here, and show your desktop. So normally the show desktop item would be right over here in this teeny tiny bar, would be, you know, just show your desktop. Actually, this right here, I thought it would show desktop. Let me see if that's the same feature. I know it was on Windows 7. Yes, but it also eliminates, y'all can't see, but on my right monitor over here, it eliminates the task bar down here on my other monitor. It completely takes it away. So that's kind of a cool feature that I didn't know was there, actually. I knew this did show desktop, but I didn't know it also did that. So anyway, that's a little bit about the start menu. I think I've decided to do these videos into each individual section of Windows 10. I try to do one on multiple videos, and I think it's just a little too long. So hopefully you learned a little bit about how to customize your start menu in this video, add apps to it, and actually use the start menu. So please visit me at www.frytechit.com.